Folks, as we get in, we're going to try and model best behavior, of course, which means two things. We would love a lot of lively chatter in the chat box, just to say hi, introduce yourself, make whatever kind of comment moves your spirit. And then otherwise, put yourself on mute for the most part, because the noise does travel. Some of us are at home, some of us are in offices. We have dogs barking. And Tracy is going to manage how this meeting sort of rolls on our team. Thank you. Kelly just moved away from her screen right when I was going to say, there she is. Kelly, the meeting is yours.
Thank you very much, Bruce. And we just can't do this today without you and our fabulous EDC team. So first of all, I want to start off our 25th annual celebration by thanking Bruce Densley and the whole team of EDC for why we're here today, the success of our community and our businesses. And so I wanted to say thank you first. I'm Kelly Long. I'm your county supervisor and chair of EDC this year. I'm recovering from COVID, but I couldn't miss today because it's just so important. So bear with me if I start coughing, I apologize. I just wanted to outline today's meeting. We've just had several activities over the past year, and I want to recognize the hard work just of everybody, including our business advisors and our partners, of course, our staff. I'd like to introduce to you our new 2022 chair. I'll get to that surprise in a minute if you don't already know. And we're going to be sharing the stories of our Small Business Development Center, making sure that we hear straight from people's successes. We had that last year and it was such a great experience that we wanted to bring it back again today. And then also we wanted to share what our new mission and vision statement is, along with our focus for the next 3 years. And then we're going to toast with a cheers to the new year. So hopefully you have your favorite beverage at the end at 5 and we'll just do a fun toast. Nothing was supplied, so you'll have to grab your own. But for my part today, I just want to say how proud I am of working with the entire team. You can read about most of that work in our 2021 impact report, but there's just so much more to say. And I think we've really accomplished so much in the last year, just nothing short of amazing, especially through a pandemic. The EDC SBDC has provided over 13,000 hours of consulting to over 2,080 clients and assisted in the access of over $219 million in capital. That is such a huge accomplishment. And I mean, the success, it's been just really overboarded by a specialty high-tech and equity program formerly housed in LA that we now manage through the SBDC office and furthering our regional support for businesses. We've also had our EDC loan program loan nearly $1 million out for loans for small businesses. We've also supported the launch of the Ventura County Industrial Council to develop strong production clusters and ensure access to skilled workforce, essential to drive sustainability and growth in our region. Thank goodness I have my notes because, and then continued economic development efforts in the Santa Barbara County as a founding member of the Uplifting Central Coast Coalition and more. There's EDC Film has continued to support the rebounding of the film activity, bringing more than $78 million in economic impact to the region in 2021. And I've talked to some of those that have filmed here and they say it's just fabulous working with our team. Also, we've continued our leadership through the Pacific Coast Broadband Consortium, participated in the Southern California regional projects to examine the benefits of broadband development and adoption of reducing greenhouse gases and vehicle miles traveled. And then, I just want to say we've just done so much with our business loan grants and just, it's amazing what has happened in just 365 days. And we couldn't have done that without our partners, without our affiliates, our entire EDC board, our executive committee, and our staff for their support for all this year. And I just want to say thank you. It's been a privilege to be the chair this year. And we've gotten our strategic plan done too, so that's exciting. It's been great. And I also, of course, a very special remembrance for a council member, Larson of Ari Larson of our city of Fillmore, who we recognize in our impact report. She was a special member of our community, and sorry for her loss. Also, moving forward, before I cough too much, we have the very special honor to introduce Harold Edward, who is now just sworn in like 5 minutes ago to be our EDC chair for 2022. I was just joking with our board of directors that we have a triple threat now. I was following Nan Drake of EJ Harrison, who is such a powerful player for our EDC. Then it was me as chair, and now it's Harold. So with that, Harold, I'm passing that gauntlet to you virtually, and it's all yours. Good luck, and we'll be here supporting you. And you are on mute, Harold.
Perfect. Well, thank you very much, Kelly, and good afternoon, everyone. And I think that's probably the most used expression we've heard all year is "you're on mute." So I'm very glad to be off mute, and just like to say that you deserve a medal of honor for not only being here, but being here and getting through that speech in such an eloquent way. On behalf of the full board and community, we so appreciate your professionalism and your whole career, and your commitment to business and public-private partnerships in Ventura County. And thank you to my fellow board members for the confidence for serving as chair this year. Moving forward, it's not only great to be following Kelly, she's left huge shoes to fill, and I'll try my best to fill them. But I'm also thrilled for the board's election of my fellow officers, Dee Dee Kavanaugh from the city of Simi Valley as our vice chair, and Peter Zierhut from Haas Automation continuing as our secretary and treasurer. What we've taken from the last 25 years of experience and the last 4 years of repeated disruption is that our purpose and our identity have had to evolve with our circumstances. Looking ahead into 2022, we'll continue our dedication to supporting business resiliency and adaptation in the face of crisis, and using these cycles of disaster as a catalyst for diversified growth to support our regional economy. Here are a few things we're looking forward to in 2022. Of course, as soon as possible, an economy and quality of life free from the impacts of COVID-19. I'm not sure how free we'll be from them, but we look forward to certainly being freer. In collaboration with Assembly Member Jackie Irwin, the EDC will launch a $5 million regional digital upskilling training program that will not only train 450 workers and business owners, but also build our region's capacity to continue to adapt fast-changing digital technologies. We're also relaunching a regional employment training panel program, providing businesses and workers operational efficiency training and services, and further investing in the region's competitiveness. I'm thrilled to be a partner with the County of Ventura in deploying the American Rescue Plan Act funds to provide additional business assistance and access to capital, and working regionally on the Central Coast from here through Santa Cruz County on a state-funded economic resiliency strategy and investments. To do all that work, of course, we're so appreciative of all of our partners and collaborators, both public and private. At this point, I'd like to take a moment to recognize Kelly Long and personally to thank Kelly for all that she did and for all the work that she's done and that you're doing to keep our economy on track. And now I'd like to pass the baton over to Bruce. And once again, thank you all for being here this afternoon. And Bruce, the baton is in your hands.
Gladly accepted. Thank you, both Kelly and Harold. So it is my honor for this moment, and hopefully, Tracy, you want to pull that up? There we go. So what we have here, Supervisor and Chair Long, is several things. First, you should know that we have in our office or en route received proclamations from all 10 cities, from the County of Ventura, of course, from Senator Limon and others, proclamations with language that reads along these lines. Whereas Chair Long, with her passion for business and community development and for a broadly shared and equitable recovery from the pandemic, has been instrumental in the growth and the development of the EDC as a valued resource for regional economic vitality. It goes on with a lot more detail. What we're screening along here is you'll see testimonials from Harold at Limonera, from Chris at Meisner Filtration, and several, I think there's 9 or so of these that will float by. You'll see just the passion, commitment, and partnership from several of your peers and our members of our board and community, and thanks for your work. And I've said this a couple of times. I had the opportunity, which is a kind of a wrong word I should use at the moment, but a year ago in 2020, while Supervisor Long then served as chair of the County Board of Supervisors, and the county was doing weekly press releases that I occasionally would be invited to share what we were learning about the impacts to business and the resources to business. And your buoyancy and aplomb and cheer during those difficult days and hours in leading those conferences and introducing the resources to the region, you stepped up in an extraordinary way, and I couldn't be more proud to be working with you on behalf of the staff. Thanks a million. And you're seeing these other notes go by. In a better world where we were all in one place, we would have everybody recognized with their proclamations. And I'm going to be the bad guy here, and we're going to try and keep the meeting moving along, even though it's only 4:15. We might have room for a couple of folks who would like to make a couple of comments. But if I do that, so here's the deal. If I open that up to a couple of folks who want to lean in and say, thanks to Supervisor Long, I am going to cut that off after just a couple of minutes. And several folks, Vance there from Naval Surface Warfare Center is already on record. Anybody else want to chime in quickly? And I've got a couple of other things that I'll come back to. And if I can, or Tracy, if you see a hand go up, it's tricky. Opening up one of these meetings in this format, I'm probably going to regret this, right? Or if you have your voice back, Chair Long, you might want to say something as well, knock yourself out.
Oh, I will.
Go ahead.
I will share a brief comment that Supervisor Long was she's really busy. She's taking kids to college. She's dealing with COVID, but a couple of us had this wild idea to give Bruce a little special appreciation at our Spirit of Small Business Awards. And I got to say that, you know, we fooled him. It was supposed to be a surprise, and everybody knew. And I just have to thank Supervisor Long. Everybody but Bruce knew. And, you know, she could be head of the CIA for all I care, because, you know, she can really hang in there and keep things off the record. So love that. And I think we really hit that one out of the park.
Or that was a testimonial to my cluelessness, which is another option. So, but so appreciated.
I just want to say thank you to all the cities and Bruce and everybody. It's really touching. I didn't expect that at all. I will read those words later on when I'm not blushing and totally embarrassed. But just thank you so much. My passion is really to help you guys and all our community. And I just love working with you guys. So thank you. Really appreciate it.
Cool, so appreciated. You're not going far, of course. Any other comments for this? And then we can move into another piece of this agenda, but we have a moment. Anyone wants to hop in? There he is. Excellent.
I'll hop in if it's not too much to schmooze my boss, but just to get right to it, you all saw it publicly, her positive energy throughout the crisis in support of business. But what you didn't see was that very same thing was happening behind the scenes all the time, in the backroom conversations about how are we going to support our businesses through this every day. So what you see is what you get. Wonderful. Thank you, Kelly.
Thank you, Mike. So appreciated. So what we're going to do here, and keep throwing things into the chat, of course. One of the things that we really want to do is feature a couple of key businesses. And in a moment, I'm going to kick this over to Ray Bowman, the director of our Small Business Center. But before I do that, I'm going to take the opportunity to say a couple of things. And Tracy, yeah, I'm going off script, so we're good. So what we have on the screen here, it's hard to pick them all off, but we have a core that Ray and his team have assembled of more than 50 professional business advisors. And they have expertise across all sorts of industry domains, from restaurant expertise. I see Kevin McVeary on a call. We've got folks who've got expertise in other sectors, from manufacturing to you name it, and an expertise across the functions or the activities in business. How do you access capital? How do you manage finances? Gonzalo Fernandez, who's a master facilitator of business capital. We've got all sorts of advisors here. I'm going to blow it. I've named 2, and I could miss probably 10 or a dozen or 20 that are on the call. My apologies. Doug Court, I see on the call, who is an extraordinary facilitator of equity and of innovation businesses. And we marshal that group, and that's how we have succeeded. Is we, as Ray will be often to say, we are in the business of managing the talent of this business advising core, making sure that we're making that available to business. We're not giving people generalists, rather we're making sure that we pair people up with specialists. And I just want to give a huge shout out to Ray and Marvin and our team that do that with such extraordinary expertise. But it's all about connecting people to the right talent. And we're going to recognize some of those by featuring a couple of businesses. So Ray, are you there? I think it's to you.
Yeah, I'm here. So thank you, Bruce. Last year, our Small Business Development Center experienced record levels of client engagement. On average, our call team received over 51,000 calls altogether. So that's somewhere between 3,000 and 6,000 calls per month. This activity resulted in our center providing one-on-one technical assistance to over 2,080 small businesses, totaling over 13,000 hours. This engagement resulted in $219 million in access capital by over 729 firms, as well as 83 new businesses formed and over 900 jobs created or retained, excuse me, with over 12,788 total jobs supported. As the lead for international trade, our LA SBDC network saw an additional 500 clients who produced over 78 million in additional capital access and received over 55 state trade expansion grants. So those were grants of about $5,000 each to promote international exports. Overall, the revenue created by these 2,080 clients exceeded over $1 billion. So huge impact on our local economy. These impacts ranked our center among the top performing centers in the state as well as nationally. Looking forward into the new year, our center's focus will pay special attention to the follow-up and retention of all those thousands of clients that we not only engaged in technical assistance, but those that we may have met for the first time through our support of the county and state grant programs. A special focus of our center this year will be on that we service, including industry, location, race, gender, ethnicity, and veteran status. And these are all communities that represent the universe of clients that we service. And we want to strive not only to be inclusive and to engage with these communities, but be equally effective in helping these businesses achieve economic growth and prosperity. This immense amount of economic impact is produced by a team that includes our client service, client relations specialist, as well as our over 60 advisors with specialties including finance, marketing, international trade, technology, e-commerce, legal issues, just among a few. As always, I'm honored by the achievements of our team, not only by our team, but to the dedication to our mission that's wholly focused on helping our small businesses grow, innovate, and thrive. Equally, our team is honored to serve all of our business community. The amount of entrepreneurial talent that we engage on a daily basis is part of the joy of what we do. In fact, the recipe to success in our program really lies in those collaborative relationships between our team and the talented entrepreneurs that we serve. A wonderful example of this entrepreneurial talent is Pandia Seeds. So at this time, I'd like to hand things off to Robert Campana, CEO of Pandia Seeds. Robert?
Yeah, thank you very much for the introduction. I appreciate it. It's my pleasure to be here with you guys. I have been working closely with Simona over on your team, exporting. We have two companies, Pandia Seeds, which is a wholesale vegetable seed company, focusing primarily on Latin America, and Leafbox, which is a home garden company. So I'm actually a first-generation American. My father moved here from Venezuela when he was just a young guy. And one of the things we noticed was that there was a lot of just inequality and really just lack of opportunity for people to come out of poverty in Central America and South America. So what we've been able to do is work with independent breeders around the world to improve genetics so that somebody in Haiti that's growing a cabbage can get double, triple their yield just by the genetics that they're putting in the ground. So it's a huge blessing to be able to work in this. We focus in Latin America, though we've exported to every country or every continent in the world, apart from Antarctica, because they just don't grow that much stuff down there. When the pandemic hit, I would usually travel to 2 or 3 countries a month, and obviously that was shut down. So we decided to invest our resources into the home garden market, which is when we come up with Leafbox, which is a subscription garden company where we deliver quarterly boxes of seasonal vegetable or herb varieties direct to your door. So you don't need to worry about planting that pumpkin seed on time. It's just delivered to your door, ready to go, so you have your pumpkin for Halloween. And then we've also branched into education kits that help people go from knowing nothing to growing and enjoying their own homegrown food. We're just about to get into Walmart stores. I think we're arriving on the 4th, so in about 2 weeks. So that's been going great. And Simona's been a huge help because she's introduced us to things that we never would have thought about, never would have even really known about, including the STEP grant, the $5,000 grant that was mentioned, and other things like WUSADA, which who would have known this, but they help support up to half of your marketing expenses overseas, up to $300,000 per company, so up to $600,000, which is pretty helpful. So that's been great. And also with Leafbox, as we're looking to expand into the consumer market and even overseas in places like Australia and the United Kingdom, program with Fuse is great because that gives us 5 government.com backlinks to our company, which really helps improve SEO way more than many of the other options that are out there. So it's been a pleasure working with you guys. We've been really helped. We've been working with you guys, I think, for about a year now. And so I'm just really thankful for all the support you've given and looking forward to continuing to grow. I'm going to put my contact information in the chat in case anybody wants to contact me. But thanks again. And with that, I will pass on to Simona.
Thank you so much, Robert. It is a delight to work with you. And good afternoon, everybody. Congratulations, EDC colleagues, leaders, partners, stakeholders for the great achievements in the past year. I'm truly honored to be part of the EDC team. I'm one of the EDC SBDC International Expansion Advisor, which is fancy title for Export Advisor. And under Dr. Ray Bowman's leadership, motivating leadership, I also help manage the trade department, the LASBDC Go Global. I also work in a private sector. I'm director of global trade at Getting to Global, and in the non-private sector as well. I'm the president of Organization of Women in International Trade, Orange County chapter. I could not imagine doing my work without the great support from my EDC colleagues, from the intake team to CRM team to our advisor to marketing, finance, and accounting and legal. The success of the global department, it really is a testament, as both Ray and Bruce mentioned, of the teamwork at EDC. I'm passionate about finding solutions to complex trade problems and making sure that clients are aware of and considering all the resources and elements that lead to export success. My first meeting with our client, Robert from Pandia Seeds, was, as with all other trade clients, an export readiness assessment meeting. And I quickly realized that Robert is a skillful, successful entrepreneur who's committed to continue the legacy of his father, who's very much involved in supply chain and product research and development, cares about his farmers and food sustainability by raising the quality of seeds. So making sure the seeds are resilient to climate stress will contribute, as you mentioned, to secure higher crop yields. There are no good crops without good seeds. So America's farmers and the world farmers need access to Pandia seeds. The work we do together is based on Robert's expansion priorities. His company, industry, and supply chain has been very much disrupted by the pandemic. So my role is to make sure that Robert has access to local, state, and federal resources and to help him continue to innovate his global expansion strategy. So I identify resources that will support Robert with implementing the global strategy. As he mentioned, the STEP grant to offset some of the regulatory compliance cost. The WUSATA, which is a really great program, reimburses 50% of all your international international marketing expenses, as long as you comply with a 90-page guide. So my role is to make sure that that Robert will comply with the 90-page guide. Besides the U.S. Commercial Service that Robert mentioned, I would also introduce and Robert, we're meeting tomorrow to apply for the first WUSATA application. And also, I will introduce Robert to a service that not a lot know about. It is the Advocacy Center service of the International Trade Administration. Their job is to help U.S. companies win foreign government contracts across the globe. So that is my plan for this quarter of 2022, and a lot of great work ahead of us. I look forward to continuing working with you, Robert. Thank you all for listening, and cheers to another 25 years of learning together how to continue to build community and culture and to strive to create local positive change. I am now passing the virtual floor to our Director of Lending, Marvin Botek.
Thank you, Simona. My name is Marvin Botek, Director of Lending for the EDC. Programmatically, 2021 was a great year for our loan program. First, we acquired capital from the City of Oxnard to provide grants to Oxnard businesses. Second, we were approved by the City of Oxnard to start a loan program to assist Oxnard businesses. And third, for the City of Ventura, we were approved for funding to launch a forgivable loan program to support Ventura businesses affected by COVID. Lastly, in collaboration with the Santa Barbara County Food Action Network, we launched a pilot loan program to support food entrepreneurs. Now, in addition to the new programs, we continue to manage loan capital for the City of Camarillo, City of Ventura, First Five, Mechanics Bank, and Pacific Western Bank. As an organization, we're indebted to CIT Bank, Pacific Western Bank, and Union Bank for providing us with loan loss reserves and other grants to support all of our programs. The grants allowed us to expand our loan team, upgrade software, and support our lending activities. We're also indebted to the state of California iBank and CalCap for providing us loan guarantees up to 95% to support businesses affected by COVID. Lastly, we'd like to thank City National Bank and the Jane House Foundation for their partnership. In 2021, we successfully completed 2 investments from them, we received from them. Now looking forward to 2022, this is going to be an exciting year for us. We have around $4 million in capital and we want to deploy as much of it as possible. And so far, we're off to a good start. Our attention is to focus on key industries like childcare. We want to support childcare providers in need of working capital loans to help them through these tough times. Now we're going to hear from one of our recent childcare loan recipients, Carousel Montessori in Camarillo. SBDC advisor Gonzalo Fernandez and I had the pleasure of assisting Elizabeth and Robin acquire a school they worked at. Elizabeth and Robin, please tell us your story. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Robin Bales, and this is my partner, Beth Suafoa. We are owners of Carousel Montessori Preschool in Camarillo, California. We serve families from all over Ventura County caring for their children's ages from 2 to 6. Our preschool kindergarten uses the Montessori philosophy which promotes independence by allowing children to choose their own work. We employ 7 other teachers who have worked hard to develop meaningful activities for their students. We met in 2013 here at our work. We were teaching in the 2-year-old classroom, and we were instant friends, and we discovered how well we worked together. Over the years, we both grew within the school, working as administrators and even opening a second location. I ran one school, Beth ran the other school. It has always been my dream to own my own preschool. So when Beth called to tell me that we had the opportunity to buy one of the schools, I said, let's do it.
We knew we wanted to purchase a school, but neither of us had the funds to buy it outright. We started talking to friends and family, looking for investors, but being in the middle of a pandemic, nothing panned out. We started considering a loan and exploring our options. I sent Mr. Ray Bowman of the Small Business Development Center an email about an SBA program I had read about. He invited us to sign up as clients and introduced us to Mr. Marvin Boateng. We explained our opportunity to Marvin, and we're excited to hear we had a good chance of being approved. He put us in touch with Mr. Gonzalo Fernandez, who was a delight to work with. Gonzalo went over all of our financials, helped us with our solicitation plan, provided us with templates to help us get our projections in order. Most importantly, Gonzalo treated us with respect. He didn't mind re-explaining things in layman's terms and reminded us it's okay not to know or understand everything. After all, our business is preschool. So we received the EDC loan, and together, Robin and I opened Carousel Montessori Preschool.
To be honest, we have questioned whether starting a business in the middle of COVID-19 pandemic was the smartest decision. We have definitely developed a higher level of patience. Everything seems to be twice as long as normal, and we are consistently waiting for someone or something. We are working hard to keep our preschool family safe. Keeping up with the latest guidelines for CDC, state, and county public health is a lot. At the end of the day, we love what we're doing. We are honored that our families trust us to be their baby, to keep their babies safe and help them raise the future leaders of our community.
Working with the EDC has been great. Not only did we receive the EDC childcare loan, we've also worked with Erica Bristol, who helped us with some legal matters. And we also plan to get assistance with marketing soon. Everyone has been friendly and helpful. Stephanie, Marvin, Gonzalo, Erica, Vicky, and Tracy, we appreciate all of you. It is now our pleasure to introduce our friend, Mr. Gonzalo Fernandez.
Gonzalo, you're on mute.
I'm on mute. Why? Oh, because I needed to explain things to these ladies in the memory of Ricky Ricardo. Okay, I thank you for the introduction. That was very nice. It was very easy to work with you. Believe me, you see the experience that I have had with other clients. You were an exception, and I'm glad you did that. I repeat, my name is Gonzalo Fernandez. I only have a experience of 50 years in the banking industry, most of it, the last part of it, dedicated to small business finance, where I created programs and managed programs for 3 different banks. I retired on May of 2013, and I think I was retired for about 2 weeks before I get a call from Marvin, and you cannot say no to Marvin. Marvin said, you need to come and work with us. He introduced me to Ray, and a wonderful relationship began at that time. It was a rewarding experience, but I did not expect that experience to be as dramatic as it was last year. It was incredible to see how many businesses were struggle, and some of them unfortunately were not able to make it. But on the other hand, with our guidance, my colleagues and I were able to bring those business back to life. That was fantastic, and probably one of the best things that ever happened in my career. My role is to prepare the client for the solicitation, as Beth and Robin explained. In their case, these clients were very well prepared. They had excellent ideas of what they wanted to do with the business, basically because of the experience that they had. It's much different to create a plan when you have good experience than when you do not. For most part, the business owners do not like financing, do not like numbers. They shy away from it. And I don't understand it because it's their capital. So they were well prepared. They told me the amount they needed. They had their purpose well defined. And I helped them put together how the loan was going to be repay, which are the three ingredients that we go through when we start guiding some people. Beth and Robin understood the risks, and I helped them put together, as I said, the mitigating factors for those risks, which is what you need to present a loan solicitation to the lender. They took ownership of the process. No doubt about it, that is very, very important. And the good presentation they made resulted in a loan that was a little bit beyond what they originally asked for, because Marvin and I did some planning, and we wanted to be sure that there was a need for additional capital. It was going to be there for them. That's what I do in my role. I spend time with the clients. Now, in the case of Montessori, Carousel Montessori, we have a technical assistance follow-up that we do with the clients. When a client borrows money from us, we stay with them. We stay with them, assisting them, monitoring their financial performance. And it's not only to protect the capital that we put out there, but also to protect that the business succeed the way they want it. I have a client, for example, that I visit every other week, and I've been doing that for at least 2.5 years. Marvin would not allow me to get out of there. And it's been rewarding. It's been very good. I thank for the opportunity. I thank for Marvin inviting me and Ray accepting me to come in. And I appreciate everything and all my colleagues, advisors, all what they do to make the job successful. Now I'm passing back to Bruce.
Thank you, Gonzalo, and thank you, Erica, who worked on that project as well, and Simona, but really thank you to Carousel Montessori and Pandia Seeds. Just thrilled for what is the fun and artwork is being associated with, and the opportunity to be introduced by two businesses like that any given day. And if you can imagine 2,000 of these, you have no idea what is the innovation, the spirit of business in this region, the creativity. It's actually humbling. So the next part of this is we're going to talk, I know this could be a real buzzkill, but we're going to talk a little bit about strategic planning. So I've had the honor of being the CEO of the EDC for more than half of its 25 years, and I will confess that until now, none of those with the benefit of a strategic plan. So by the hard work of the staff, team, and advisors, the passion and urgency and commitment to customer service and business, but with a little sober reality, beginning with the Thomas fire, more than 4 years ago, and just as we thought we were getting sort of clarity on, how we had to innovate and pivot and all those crazy words and reorient ourselves to different kinds of activities, the Hill-Woolsey fire, and then, of course, the last couple of years in pandemic. And, we started to get a little smarter and say, maybe we ought to take a deep breath and actually figure out where we've been as effectively as we can and a better idea of where the heck we're going. And do we have the organizational structure? Do we have the capacity? Do we have the foresight? The best piece of foresight that we had was to get connected to Eric Ryan, a group called Mission Met that we had been introduced to through the national SBDC network. Eric and his team have been doing work for small business centers, for small nonprofits, for public agencies, and all kinds of public and private organizations all over the United States and beyond. And Eric has been a master. I can't say enough about his work. So I'm going to pass it in a moment to Eric, and then Eric's going to share some of this time with Tracy. But before I stop there, I just want to stop for a moment and say a huge thanks to Tracy Schneider and her aide in arms, Stephanie Gonzalez. They put together our 2021 impact report. and have been doing extraordinary work in making sure that everything we do is simultaneously released in English and Spanish and gathering the message for the organization. She's going to have a moment to tell you more about our strategic plan in a moment, but I'm going to kick it over to Eric. Eric, are you there?
Bruce, hello, Bruce.
Please,
Thank you.
man.
So let's just take a moment and by the way, my name is Eric Ryan. I'm calling you from a dairy barn up in Northern California, out in the countryside. So it's entirely possible you hear some horses neighing in the background through this. So that's not me. That will be the horses if you hear that. You know, it's at 4:43 Pacific time. I'm the 13th speaker. We're on track. Like this is sort of a testament to the professionalism, the execution, and everything that I learned about EDC in the several months of working with the EDC. You all may have heard of a management consultant, perhaps the most prominent management and leadership consultant of all time, Peter Drucker. He had his phrase, it was culture eats strategy for breakfast. And, you know, thinking about EDC, the culture of excellence, the culture of collaboration, there's a variety of values that the EDC has identified. I've been doing this work for 25 years, working with small organizations on strategic planning, and without question, the EDC's culture is as strong as I've come across. And if that's the case, then it's eating the strategy for breakfast, and it's allowing the trust and the relationships and perhaps a reason why you have people agreeing in the chat box right now, why you have over 100 people here on the line. So well done. I've learned a lot about you, and I think as a result of all of that, you're extraordinarily well positioned to continue to have the type of impact you want on the community, on the local economy for the two counties. And I just think that there's just a lot of opportunity to do some very cool things, which Tracy will share a little bit more about in just a moment. Mechanically, I chuckled when Bruce said, you know, it's kind of a buzzkill at the end of the meeting to talk about strategic planning. Most of the time I agree. But in this case, I disagree because this really is a shining star of sort of a guide around how you can continue to have a greater and greater impact on the community. I'm going to share my screen for just a moment, and you'll see this here is the outline of it's actually the strategic plan itself. Tracy's going to go into more detail. This is in my company's software, and you'll see the mission and the vision and some core values and tagline as part of section 1. A couple of people here, Bruce and Monica, that are overall champions of the plan, a 4-year horizon. And that down here in the second section, you'll see the different focus areas that outline what we call our actions in the plan, a 3-year vision for the different sections, and then highlighting different goals, people are accountable, the ability to measure and track progress, and so on. So the point is, in me sharing this with you, is we like to say that this isn't about creating a plan, it's about creating a process, a component of which is a plan. And they really drank that Kool-Aid at EDC around, we are going to measure, track, revise, and build this into our sort of operational DNA. If you've been around strategic planning for a while, you know that a lot of times people create great plans that don't get executed. And from the very beginning of this process, we weren't about to let that happen. So we're going to make sure that this really is used. And we use it as a professional development exercise for the staff, and also the opportunity to, accomplish the things we want to accomplish for the community. So with that, I'm going to hand this over to Tracy, and Tracy's going to share a little bit more about the content of the plan. And I just want to reiterate, go back to what I said at the beginning here, that the culture of EDC is just extraordinary, and it's really well positioned to do a heck of a lot of great things in the community. So thank you for the opportunity to have been a part of that over the last several months.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much, Eric and Bruce, for your kind words. Truly, Eric, you have been such a joy to work with over these last couple of months. And really, this is the most put together strategic plan I've ever seen. And I know that our team, with everything we have set up, this is something that we'll actually be able to follow and implement. So just to repeat for everyone, I'm Tracy Schneider. I'm the EDC's Communications and Marketing Manager, and I want to thank everyone for being here today. It's a really big deal to our team to share all of our yearly work with you. So as Bruce has shared and our community impact report has already described, our growth in response to disaster and community has undoubtedly enhanced our long-term ability to support businesses. But this repetitive cycle of disaster and disruption that we've been experiencing has, however, led to a certain amount of uncertainty about what's next for the EDC. But our team here that has already spent countless hours supporting our community through local fires, floods, and now the COVID-19 pandemic has spent even more invaluable time committing again to the future of the EDC, to not only ensure that we're remaining committed to our passion for partnership and collaboration, but also to make sure that we continue growing our services in this region. And today I'm incredibly honored to share just a short overview of the actual content of our EDC strategic plan on behalf of our staff and board. So first, I'm thrilled to share our redefined mission and vision statements. These ideas still reflect our goals to connect with our community members, maintain a healthy local economy, and build pathways to economic development. But the clarified statements here really extend our commitment to the greater Ventura and Santa Barbara County region. These ideas take all of the extensive services that the EDC offers and really clarifies the heart of our goals. One of the interesting things that came up in this process is that despite the fact that our staff has been living our values personally and professionally since they joined the EDC, we never actually publicly documented our core shared values. And truly, our team is impact-driven in our programs, we're collaborative in our work and partnerships, authentic as people and as an organization, and always responsive to our community needs. I am truly incredibly proud of the team that we have here, not only our EDC staff, but along with our advisors, our board, and everyone that works in partnership with us. So over the next 3 years, the EDC is going to be focusing on 5 strategic themes. At the core of many of our services is, of course, the goal to connect local businesses to opportunities for growth, but also to connect our regional government and private sector leaders to opportunities for development. So we'll be establishing a quarterly convening program to discuss issues of economic and community development significance, which is including housing, digital skills, and economic equity, among all sorts of other topics. And in addition, we'll be developing strategies for concentration on industry opportunities in manufacturing, high tech and innovation, international trade, and early childhood education. As we've experienced our rapid growth, we have struggled to keep up with some of our internal procedures. So focusing on staffing and operations, we'll be comprehensively updating our project, financial, and grant management procedures with additional focus on creating staffing, technology, and succession plans for our future. While historically our board composition has focused on our origin in Ventura County, but with our increased expansion into Santa Barbara County, we'll be updating our model for board composition to better reflect our service area. Truly, our board of directors is instrumental in guiding the future of the EDC, and we're really excited to see increased engagement across the region that we're serving. There we go. To address our growth in clients served, programs implemented, in our ever-growing team of staff, our funding needs will be addressed through strengthening sustainable, unrestricted funding from donors and foundations, and we'll also be reinforcing our relationship with public sources. And lastly, we'll be refining our marketing approach. Complementing all the growth in our services in our region, we'll be solidifying outreach plans, establishing more of a positive economic impact across Ventura and Santa Barbara counties, including all of their diversified communities. On a personal note, when I was finishing my bachelor's degree at Cal State Channel Islands, I interned with the EDC, and actually many of our EDC staff members are Dolphins. And when I worked as an intern, I assisted with our rebranding that actually still guides the EDC today. And I remember just being so excited for the EDC's redefined future. But now I'm truly overjoyed and honored to work with a company that walks the walk, with a team that truly lives by the content of this strategic plan. There is a reason that the word collaborative is in our name, and I know our 26th year of collaboration is off to a fantastic start. If you want to dive further into the EDC strategic plan and 3-year focus areas, please check out our 2022 strategic plan overview document that should have just been linked in the chat box. Now I'd like to pass it back to Bruce for final comments on our strategic plan. Thank you, Bruce.
Thank you, Tracy. So appreciate that overview. You rock it. You've got it down pat. Now it's, as Eric said, all about execution. The last thing we wanted when we sat down, as Eric said, is that we didn't really want to do some abstract planning. I'm thrilled that the strategic plan has sort of an equal weight of focus and concentration on our leadership and governance and our directionality, but also just, of course, just on the operational execution. Just one other shout out to some folks I'd like to make here before I get any further. One of those pieces in the strategic plan you saw was about stability, et cetera, in securing funding. And we've done a dynamite job. And I shouldn't really say that. We have been the beneficiary over the last couple of years of all sorts of federal and state resources that happen in, you know, the wake of pandemic and disaster. But Kelly Noble on our staff and Shailene Heyman, and now also with Monica Estrella and our grants and contracts group, just done an extraordinary job of identifying with us, not just identifying, but managing an extraordinary growth of financial assets to fuel all of the services that Ray and Marvin have been talking about, and the advisors as well. So it does take a real comprehensive, you know, team to pull this off, and I couldn't be prouder of the team as a whole from every piece. And now ever more confident that we have a strategic plan. Anybody, we have a couple of minutes here. Any board members, others want to comment on the world of strategic planning and what they see in this? And otherwise, I'm going to move it back to Harold in a moment, but I'll open it up for any comments, questions to Eric, or I see Kelly Long, and then I'll keep my eyes open for others.
I just wanted to say thank you to Eric and Bruce, Tracy. This strategic plan is just very well thought out for the next 3 years, and for all the community members that really participated and answered the questions and really gave feedback. This makes us stronger, and to have a vision and a new mission, you know, the vision and mission is just it's really going to be great progress. I get very excited seeing this because it's, you know, it's your marching orders. What are we going to be doing the next 3 years? Oh, well, we know now, and we know what funding we need, and it's exciting times. So just thank you so much, Bruce, for bringing this forward. It's absolutely right time to do this. So thank you.
Thank you. Any others? There's a lot of boxes to keep an eye on here. So gone. I appreciate that work so much. I am sending it back to you, Harold, for whatever you have to close us down.
All right, well, thank you, Bruce. And going back to Eric's comment that culture eats strategy for lunch, we're gonna stay on track here and finish this thing right on the screws. And I want to just take a moment and thank very much Nan Drake for her amazing contributions, both as the former chair, but also on the executive committee of the EDC. We'll miss you, Nan, but some tells me you and I will continue to see each other on a regular basis. So thank you for all you have done and continue to do. And also to Supervisor Kelly Long. Again, the shoes are huge, Kelly, but I'll do my best to fill them. But really appreciated your leadership and everything you did also to make this strategic planning process so successful.
Harold, can I say something really quickly?
Please do, yes, Dan.
Okay. I'm not going to go away. The Harrisons wouldn't let me. They're committed to this organization and what they do. So I'm locked in.
We love that, Nan. I want to thank everybody for attending today. I also want to thank all of the presenters. I think we just saw nice little vignettes of the reason I'm so excited to be affiliated with the EDC. All the stories are inspirational. The work of everybody at the EDC is inspirational. And it's just really great to look at all the achievements that the EDC have racked up, but that they will continue to rack up. And so now my favorite part of the close involves all of you grabbing your favorite beverage. And at the risk of some gratuitous self-promotion, I've chosen to grab an icy cold Rincon Brewery Limonera Lemon Peel Wheat Ale as the beverage of choice that I will be toasting with. And I'm going to toast two things, or actually three things. One, I'm going to toast our leadership that was just handed over from Kelly Long. I'm going to toast all of our health and prosperity going forward in the upcoming year. And finally, I'm going to make a toast to all of us and for the prosperity of the EDC for the next 25 years. So to all of us, cheers.
Cheers.
All right, and so I guess with that, let's consider this meeting closed, and I'll adjourn the meeting, and I'll see you all on February 17th.